People have been scanning the surface of a Scottish lake for centuries in search of the Loch Ness Monster. This weekend, there is a decidedly more ambitious effort underway to see if there's any truth to the legend.
For many years, people have talked about the Loch Ness Monster as one of the biggest mysteries in the world. The dark water of Scotland's famous lake has been full of stories, strange sightings, blurry photos, and claims that something large is hiding below. Some people believe in Nessie, while others think it is just a mistake or imagination. But now, new findings say the mystery may finally be solved, and the truth is even more surprising than anyone expected. So what is really in the water? Join us in this video as we reveal the details. The Loch Ness mystery was finally solved. For many years, people from all over the world believed that something very big and very old was hiding under the dark water of Loch Ness. Some said it was a dinosaur that somehow survived. Others said it was a strange sea animal that did not go extinct millions of years ago. This story became known as the Loch Ness Monster mystery. It became one of the most famous unknown stories in the world. It brought tourists, scientists, reporters, and people who hunt for monsters to the lake in Scotland. The lake itself made the story even more believable. Loch Ness is not like normal lakes. The water is very dark. This is because rainwater flows through thick peat in the hills around it before it enters the lake. The peat changes the water and makes it look like strong brown tea. Because of this, you cannot see clearly inside the water. Even when the sun is bright, the inside of the lake stays dark and hard to see. The lake is also very deep. Some parts go down more than 700 feet. The deeper parts are cold all year. This makes the lake feel strange and hard to explore. Even cameras and underwater machines do not work well because the water blocks light so strongly. Because of this, people cannot easily see what is under the water. These conditions helped the monster story grow for many years. When people looked across the water and saw something moving far away, they often misunderstood it. A small wave could look very large. A normal swimming animal could look like a huge creature. The dark water made it hard to know distance, size, or shape. Many people said they saw strange things. Some said they saw a long neck coming out of the water. Others said they saw big humps moving slowly across the lake. Some said they saw a dark shape moving under the surface. Newspapers wrote about these stories in very dramatic ways. Soon, the story spread around the world. Many tourists came to Scotland just to see the creature called Nessie. A big moment happened in 1933. A local newspaper used the word monster for the first time when reporting a strange sight near the lake. This one word changed everything. After that, almost every strange movement in the water was linked to the monster idea. People started to expect something unusual every time they looked at the lake. Over time, many researchers tried to find the truth. Some used boats with sonar machines to scan under the water. Some placed cameras in the lake. Some stood for hours watching the water with binoculars. There were also large searches where many boats moved across the lake together. But none of these searches gave clear proof of a large creature living there. Some photos became very famous. People believed they showed the monster. But later, many of these photos were found to be wrong or fake. One of the most famous photos, called the surgeon's photograph, was later proven to be a trick. It was not real evidence. Even with this, people still kept reporting sightings. One reason is that the lake itself can act in strange ways. Scientists later found that the water can move in a pattern called an internal seiche. This happens when strong wind pushes warm water to one side of the lake. When the wind stops, the water moves back slowly under the surface. People cannot see this movement directly, but it can change how the surface looks. Because of this movement, long, dark shapes can appear on the water. These shapes can move slowly and sometimes even go against the wind. On calm days, these shapes can look very real and very strange. Many people who thought they saw a monster were actually seeing natural water movement. The land under the lake also adds to the mystery. The Great Glen Fault runs under the lake. This is a place where the earth is still slowly moving. Small earthquakes still happen sometimes. Over time, the story of Nessie became bigger than just the lake. It became part of movies, books, and TV shows. Many people visited the lake just because of the mystery. The story became part of world culture. After many years of searching, one question still remains. If scientists stop looking for a monster and instead study the lake itself more closely, what else might they discover hiding in plain sight? Let's delve deeper. The scientific search for the truth. In 2018, scientists launched one of the most important investigations ever carried out at Loch Ness. Instead of searching for monsters using submarines or underwater cameras, researchers decided to study the water itself. The project was led by geneticist Neil Gemmell. His team used a method called environmental DNA, also known as eDNA. By collecting water samples and studying the genetic material floating inside them, scientists could identify which species were living in the loch without ever needing to see them directly. Researchers collected hundreds of samples from different parts of the lake, including deep sections near the bottom. They tested water from several regions to make sure the investigation covered the entire loch. When the results came back, scientists identified thousands of species living in the water. However, they found no evidence supporting many of the popular monster theories that had existed for decades. There was no DNA connected to prehistoric reptiles. There was no evidence of giant sharks. Scientists also found no proof of giant catfish or sturgeon living inside the loch. One result, however, stood out more than anything else. European eel DNA appeared everywhere. The researchers discovered that eels were present in very large numbers throughout the lake. These fish are long, flexible, and snake-like in appearance. When they move through dark water, they can create shapes that closely match many descriptions of the Loch Ness Monster. European eels already have one of the strangest life cycles in nature. They begin life far away in the Sargasso Sea near the Atlantic Ocean. After drifting across the ocean for many months, young eels enter European rivers and lakes where they may remain for years before eventually returning to the sea to reproduce. Some scientists believe that certain eels never leave freshwater environments at all. If this happens, they may continue growing for very long periods. While extremely giant eels remain unlikely, researchers admitted that unusually large individuals could exist under the right conditions. The cold water of Loch Ness may help eels survive longer because lower temperatures slow down their metabolism. The lake also contains plenty of food and relatively few predators large enough to threaten adult eels. Even though the eel theory does not explain every single sighting perfectly, many experts believe it matches a large number of eyewitness reports better than any giant prehistoric creature theory. Longtime Loch Ness researcher Adrian Shine believes most sightings can be explained naturally. According to his view, people often mistake waves, birds, seals, swimming deer, or floating debris for monsters. In dark conditions, the human brain naturally tries to create familiar shapes from unclear images. Another famous observer, Steve Feltham, spent decades watching the loch almost every day. He once believed giant catfish might explain the sightings. However, the DNA study did not support that theory. Modern technology has also changed the mystery. In earlier years, blurry photographs and distant shapes could easily create excitement because cameras were rare and low quality. Today, nearly every tourist carries a smartphone capable of recording high-definition video. Because of this, many strange sightings are quickly explained once examined closely. Still, some mysteries remain. Certain sonar readings recorded during older investigations were never fully explained. Researchers have also detected unidentified genetic fragments in the water though these are most likely connected to tiny organisms that have not yet been properly catalogued. Despite these remaining questions, most researchers now agree on one important point. There is no convincing evidence that a giant prehistoric animal lives inside Loch Ness. Instead, the legend appears to be the result of several natural forces working together at the same time. Dark water, strange waves, geological activity, large eels, optical illusions, and human imagination combined to create one of the most famous mysteries in the world. If the mystery of Nessie was already spreading, what happened when people finally believed they had captured the creature on camera for the very first time? Stay tuned for more. The Mystery and Legends of Loch Ness. For many years, people from all over the world have been interested in the mystery of Loch Ness. This dark lake in the Scottish Highlands became famous because of stories about a strange creature said to live under the water. People called it the Loch Ness Monster, or Nessie. Over time, this story became one of the most talked about mysteries in the world. Part of what made the story so strong is the lake itself. Loch Ness is very large. It stretches about 23 miles across Scotland. In some places, it is more than 700 feet deep. The lake was formed a very long time ago during the Ice Age. Huge glaciers moved through the land and carved a deep valley along the Great Glen Fault. Later, water filled that valley and formed the lake. For centuries, people living near the lake believed it was not a normal place. They thought strange things lived in the water. Long ago, Celtic tribes told stories about dangerous water spirits. These stories were not just for fun. They were also warnings. One of the most famous stories is about the Kelpie. This was a water spirit that could change its shape. It often appeared as a beautiful horse near the water. The story says that if someone touched it, they would get trapped and pulled into the lake. Another creature from old stories is called the Esh Whisker. This was also a water horse, but more dangerous. People believed it could change shape and trick people. It would bring them close to the water and then attack them. These stories were passed down for many years. They made people careful around the lake. In the past, people did not understand science like we do today. When accidents happened near water, like drownings, they often blamed spirits or monsters. This helped the idea of a creature in the lake grow stronger over time. One of the oldest written stories linked to the lake is about Saint Columba in the year 565 AD. The story says he saw local people burying a man near the River Ness. They said the man was attacked by a water beast while swimming. According to the story, Columba asked one of his followers to swim across the river. As the man entered the water, something large moved toward him. Columba then raised his hand, made a religious sign, and told the creature to stop. The story says the creature turned away and disappeared. This story became very important because it was written down. It made the idea of a water creature more serious for many people. Over time, it became part of the Loch Ness legend. Many centuries later, in 1934, a photograph changed everything. The picture showed what looked like a long neck rising from the water of Loch Ness. At that time, people trusted photos a lot. They believed photos showed the real truth. Because of this, the image spread quickly. Newspapers printed it in Britain and other countries. Many people believed it was proof that Nessie was real. Tourists began traveling to Scotland just to see the monster. The lake became very famous around the world. But later, the story changed. In 1994, Christian Sperling said the photo was fake. He said it showed a small model attached to a toy submarine. It was made as part of a plan to trick the public and get back at a newspaper. This news shocked many people. Some believed it. Others did not want to accept it. Even after this, the story of Nessie did not end. Other people still reported sightings. In 1960, a man named Tim Dinsdale filmed a dark shape moving across the water. The video was not clear, but many people said it looked like a large creature. Later, another image showed something that looked like a large flipper under the water. Even today, people still talk about the mystery of Loch Ness. Some sightings are explained as waves, animals, or mistakes. Others are proven to be fake, but the story still continues. The lake itself still feels strange to many people. It is deep, dark, and hard to see through. Old stories, strange sightings, and unclear evidence all mix together. This is why people still wonder if something unknown could be living there. If many sightings have been explained or proven wrong, why do people still believe something might be hiding in Loch Ness? Let's find out. Sightings, evidence, and unresolved theories. After the famous photograph spread around the world, interest in Loch Ness increased very quickly. Over the years, many new photos and videos were shared about the Loch Ness mystery. However, most of them were later proven to be wrong or fake. Some were simple mistakes, while others were created on purpose to get attention. In a more modern attempt, a company called Kongsberg Maritime used underwater drone technology to explore the lake. Their equipment found an object deep in the water that looked like a long neck and head shape. At first, this created excitement because it seemed like possible proof of the creature. But after careful checking, scientists discovered that the object was not alive. It was actually part of an old movie prop that had been left in the water. This showed how easy it is for strange shapes under dark water to confuse even modern machines. The object found in the lake came from a film made in 1969. During the filming of a Sherlock Holmes movie, a fake monster model was used in one of the scenes set in the loch. The film was directed by Billy Wilder. During production, the director did not like the shape of the model, so changes were made to it. After these changes, the prop accidentally sank into Loch Ness and stayed there for many years without being found. When modern sonar equipment later found it again, people first thought it might be the real monster, but after investigation, it was confirmed to be just a film object. This event showed how human-made objects can create confusion in deep, dark water where visibility is very low. Even after many explanations and proven mistakes, people still report strange sightings in Loch Ness. These reports have continued for a very long time, even going back hundreds of years. Some people believe there have been thousands of sightings over time. They say it is unlikely that all of them are wrong. These reports often describe something large moving in the water, sometimes with a long shape or unusual movement. However, many of these sightings are later explained as normal things like waves, floating objects, animals, or weather effects. Even so, the story continues because not every sighting has a clear explanation. In 1808, something strange washed up on the shore of the island of Stronsay, about 120 miles from Loch Ness. People who saw it said it looked like a large, unknown sea animal. They described it as having a long neck, a body like a snake, and several limb-like parts. Its skin was grey and rough. Some reports said it was very large, measuring around 55 feet long, which made it even more unusual. At the time, people carefully recorded what they saw. Since there were no cameras, they had to rely on written notes and drawings. The strange animal caused a lot of discussion because no one could clearly identify what it was. After the discovery, parts of the creature were sent to experts for study. People who saw it also gave official statements about what they witnessed. This helped create a record of the event. A scientist named John Barclay examined the remains. He said the animal did not clearly match any known species at that time. Because of this, people started to wonder if it might be something new or unknown. Later studies tried to give normal explanations, but the early reports still kept the mystery alive in public thinking. As time passed, people began comparing stories from different places. They noticed that the Stronze creature and the reports from Loch Ness had some similar details. Both descriptions mentioned a long neck, a large body, and flipper-like limbs. Because of these similarities, some people suggested that both sightings might be about the same unknown animal. This idea became popular among those who believe the creature might exist in more than one place. They think it could move between different waters and appear in different locations over time. Some supporters of the mystery believe the creature linked to Loch Ness may not live in the lake all the time. Instead, they think it could move between the lake and the ocean. They explain that the lake is connected to other waterways through the River Ness and the Caledonian Canal. These connections could allow large water animals to travel in and out of the loch. According to this idea, the creature might only appear in the lake during certain times, which would explain why sightings are rare and unpredictable. While there is no proof, this theory is still discussed by people trying to explain the mystery. What do you think about the Loch Ness mystery? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you for staying with us as we explored the mystery of the Loch Ness Monster. If this mystery kept you interested, don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the next video for more. See you there.